Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi, and today I just wanted to share with you how to make the project that I shared on the blog hop yesterday, and it's using the fabulous Coming Home stamp set that comes with coordinating dies to cut out the images, as well as others to create those scenes as well. So this here's the stamp set. As you can see, lots of houses and lots of other fun images, and then I've popped the dies on the side here, and you can see we've got the dies to cut out the houses, some little solid dies to create other little sort of treats and little images, and then I'm going to use this sort of hillside with the trees, and then the other one which is to go in the opposite direction, which goes in a similar direction I should say, to create our kind of background slope as well. And I'm going to share with you how I use the Stamparatus as well to get some great stamped images every time you want, that really speedy ones. And you can see part of it is about preparation. So when I'm die cutting, I cut out lots of the shapes all in Whisper White, ready to go. To colour with whatever medium you prefer. I'm going to use blends for this, but you can use whatever you prefer. I've used the Snowflake Splendor paper for my background. Comes in 12 by 12. And you get 2 sheets each of 6 designs, and on the front, this is just a sample 6x4. You've got some snowflake images on one side and some stronger ones on the others, some more background ones, but some lovely ink blended and sort of distress techniques, as well as some bolder images. But I thought some of these were lovely, kind of almost like sky images, kind of reminded me of northern lights at times, with these lovely kind of pinky purples coming in as well. And you see lovely detailed snowflakes as well, in all the sort of lovely blues and greens, so everything from sort of night of navy, misty moonlight. I think there's a bit of Pacific Point in there, so whatever your colour palette, you could really go to town with that as well. So this is the card that I made, and it's a pop-up card, but it folds really flat and comes together very easily, and you can see there's just a slight sheen here. It doesn't photograph particularly well, but I've added that with some of our frost white paint. You can see here the can't remember what it's called, but it's frost white. I'll put the link in my blog for that, and it's just about layering up and colouring with blends and having some fun really. And I just deliberately created just a little border at the top there. I didn't want to put a border around all the sides because I just wanted that kind of snowscape sort of scene. And then on the reverse, I've put a panel with a sentiment, and you could put a second panel on here for you to write what you want to on there as well. So here we go. So I thought what I'd do is I'd start off with creating the card base. So I've done quite a bit of preparation in advance. What you need is a piece of, I've used Misty Moonlight, which is 10.5 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and I've scored at 7. And then I've taken a piece of our DSP, and I've cut that again at 14 centimetres, but by 10 centimetres, and I have scored that again at 7 centimetres. Just add that to the background piece of card, just to leave that little border at the top there. And I'm using Tombow just because it gives a little bit of give to make sure you can line up those score lines. And don't worry, if you get a tiny little bit hanging over the edge, you can just come in with your snips and trim that down once that's dry. Okay, so there's our card base. You can obviously decide which way up you want it. I think I'll probably go for that way up, but I'm going to pop that to one side to dry. The next bit we need to do is our pop-up kind of panels. So that's the one for here and the one for the house to sit on behind. So for the one at the front, you're going to need a piece of, I've used Pool Party, and this is 16 centimetres by 5.5, and I've scored it at 1 centimetre at either end, and I'm lining up my trees in between those score lines, and I'll just pop that through my big shot, she says optimistically. If I can find what I've done in my cutting plate, always a challenge. And I will do the same with the second piece here. And you've seen one I prepared earlier, but this second piece, which I'm going to use on this one, is obviously shorter but slightly taller. So it's 4.5 by 9 centimetres, and I've scored at 1 and at 3 at 1 at 3.5, 5.5 and 8 centimetres. So that will create our next layer that we've got. So again, just pop the sort of image whichever way you want, and just remember that you've got the cutting edge at the one edge, so that's the one that you want at the top there, just to pop that through. So I'm going to use my magnetic plate for those. That just helps keep it in place while we're cutting, and just pop those through to create our little snowscapes. So when those come out, you can see that's still attached. This one cuts all the way across. But you can very easily just come in with your snips and snip at the end there, just across, like so. What I've done then is to create the kind of shimmer on that. I've just come in with my ink, which I still can't remember what we call it. I've used just a sponge dauber, and I just dip it into the cap. You don't need very much. And then I've just sort of basically sponged, sort of blended. It uses hardly any at all, and it just gives that kind of shimmer effect that you need. And you can see I've like so, and it just creates a lovely sort of sheen. And because it's not quite even either, it means that to me it looks like proper snow. So I'm popping that to one side to dry. My panel here I'm going to pop to one side as well. We'll need that in a moment. I'm not inking that one up, I don't need to. I'm going to pop my dies away, because if I don't, I will misplace them. And this is why I always have my sheet, wherever possible, I have a magnetic sheet inside my stamp case so that it can go away straight away. So we can get on with stamping our images. So apart from me trying to wreck the joint. Okay. So what I've done is I've added my images to my plate. I've then stamped on a piece of our grid paper, and as I said, I've then die cut these images. So you just pop them into this outer frame and then carry on with inking up. So just pop that down, and there we have our image, almost perfectly lined up. I didn't quite get the chimney, so I'm going to go back in, ink up my chimney just a touch, and just press that in. That is the other beauty of the Stamparatta. So do that with all the images that you want to use, and that really helps to create quick and easy images. What I then want to do is colour those images in. So I've already coloured my background one in, so I'm just going to colour the front the same. So I have used various colours, and you can really sort of help this create whatever you want. I've used light smoky slate for the building, so just circular motions all the way over. And you could just do one image, or you could do multiple ones. So I'm just going to do some fairly rough colouring here just to show you. I would then come in with my dark smoky slate to add my accents. So in the doors, in the kind of corners of the buildings, and underneath the sort of eaves, where you'd get a little bit of shadow there. And then I come in with my light colour again for a second time, and just blend that in. So coming round, and circular motions just to help blend that, like so. The door, I've used some Poppy Parade just because that happened to be the red I'd got handy. So again, I'm using the brush tip here. When it comes to detail, pop over with that bullet tip as well. Dark Poppy Parade with the bullet tip here. And then again, come in and blend that a little bit more. And then you just repeat that all the way across. So I'm not going to do that now. Just watching me colouring isn't great for you. So I'm just going to use a single image that you can pop on as well. I've then done the same with my tree, my little tree and my car. And then just to show you on the wreath, using my Just Jade, what I've actually done is I've just come in and coloured very randomly just some of the leaves in here. Just using the bullet tip to do that, and then I'm coming in with my bullet tip in my darker shade as well, and it's almost like sort of pointillism, you know, so just dotting that in all the time, and that helps create a kind of shaded wreath without detailed colouring. And again, just a little bit of the real red. And it doesn't matter which one you use there, but just to create a little wreath. And you can spend as much or as little time colouring as you want. So now we come to create our background. So if you remember, we did some extra scoring on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to line that up on the bottom edge in the middle of our card and just put some Stampin' Seal Plus down each side of that fold. If you go over the edge, just fold it in, and you're just going to put it flat on there, because then when it bends, it will create a slightly raised banner that you can then attach our house to. So I'm just adding glue to that central panel and centering our house in the middle there. So you can see it like so. Do the same on this front panel. And I haven't just realised I haven't coloured my trees. Okay, so you're going to want to colour your trees as well. I've just coloured mine with Just Jade. I shall colour it with Just Jade. So just come in. And I also went over those with a bit of Wink of Stella, or you could obviously use the same paint, frosted paint that I still can't remember the name of. So that actually looks like the dark Just Jade I've used there, but obviously to get some shading you could come in with a lighter colour here, and the same process as you use for any of your blending. Just come in with the light to create the base colour, and then the dark to add some sort of accents and a bit of shading on there. And then, as I said, if you use your Wink of Stella, that also acts to kind of blend as well, and obviously gives you a sort of frosted feeling for those trees. So now, once I'm sure you're going to remember to do your colouring before you add the glue and get it stuck to yourself. But all you do is you come in and you line with the left hand and the right hand edge by tucking those little flaps underneath, like so. And there we have our little house. Looking at that, I probably would have wanted to pop that down a little bit lower. So I'm just going to twist, just to show, twist that. I'm going to add a bit more glue down there and just pop that just a touch lower. There we go, like so. Pop my tree on the front here. Again, using my Seal Plus. So we've got a nice tree on the front, and then again you can add your car just using a couple of our mini dimensionals to the front there. As I felt this front area just looked a little bit bare. So you could obviously shade it or you could leave it shallower. I just felt by adding that little car in there, and then obviously you could add a little tree to the top if you wanted. But there you've got a card that comes together quite easily, and you can see there it folds really flat for posting. But all you've got to do is stand it up, and there you have a fold flat pop-up card ready for Christmas. Thank you for watching. As usual, mistakes and all, hope you've enjoyed it. Just goes to show, you know, this isn't perfect. This is about crafting and it's about enjoying yourself. So just get on and have fun. If you'd like to purchase any of the products, I'd love to be your demonstrator. So please do find me as Heidi Smith, or follow the links on my blog to shop with me as well. Select me as your demonstrator when you check out. Thanks for watching. Come back soon. Bye.